Monday Night Football, baby. We're here.
There's only one other good play on Minnesota.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
Run Pure Sports here with UFC Adesanya versus Pyfer in Washington. I am Mike Brown, aka H3 Buddha, here with JSU. John, we've got 13 fights to break down. We continue to have more than 12. I hate those 12 and less cards, man. What about you? The more offering, more opportunity, the more uniqueness we can have. And it's been a great year of cards so far. I want to continue this. Let's continue some momentum we got.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great year. Obviously, there's been some some shitty fights, some real shitty fights, but like overall, the cards, I mean, have been pretty solid. I think, and I was good with last week's, and hopefully this week's card, we'll see. I'm hopeful, but I'm not sure if we're gonna get a bunch of banger fights, but I hope we do. Is the
decision card? You're saying that we're due
flop.
12 of 13 decisions or something crazy like that. Yeah, it could happen.
Not.
But it also shows that I feel like this card has some good quality fighters on it. It's not just this bottom of the barrel newcomers. I mean, is there really anybody coming off Contender Series outside of Douglas? And Douglas hits like a damn train, and like it's really not that low level. Fortune is actually a guy that had a prospect name behind him. Now he's making his debut. It's just the competition's getting better, at least on this slate.
Yeah, no, we do have some. You're right. We do have some good fighters on this card, so it's not like we have, I guess, a ton of unknowns. I would say we don't have that, but it's just
Where
the
the fight
styles
plays
and
out.
the fights. We'll see how they work out. But we got a bunch of people in chat. Mike's talking already about Izzy late KO. We'll get to that thing. Who do we like in the main? We'll get to the main, Jason, but I think we'll have some differing opinions here. I'm not sure where Mike's at with the main event, but I think we'll have some different opinions. I got my boy Lone Wolf bringing the noise in the chat. The Bills. What's going on, y'all? Don't forget, smash the like button on the video here as we get into this UFC breakdown.
Yeah, man. And for DFS wise, they continue to have this upper echelon of 9-4, 9-5, 9-6. Remember what we said last week with that same type of dynamic, right? You had to get the guy that was going to get like 130 points, and the quick win bonus came in play. I feel like we need to be cognizant of it, but it's just so unpredictable, John. Like, you don't know if your fighter is going to push that button early or if they're going to wait and see for a few minutes and then just let the fight settle in. Sometimes when those A sides are minus 1,000, which we don't have on this slate, right? We don't have a minus 1,000. We
got a lot of closely lined fights on this slate,
which is great for fantasy, great for potentially getting some spots at lower ownership. So I like that as well. The first fight of the night might be the biggest favorite on the slate here, where we have a rematch. It's funny. It's a rematch that nobody even cares about, but it's happening. It's Alexa Thainara versus Bruna, Brazil. Alexa coming in on DraftKings Sportsbook at a minus 750. Her comeback on Brazil, a plus 525. What a case for Brazil, man. Like, this is a girl that the UFC had brought in. She gets head kicked, murdered. Kind of like, okay, you're enhancement talent. But then she's winning fights in the UFC somehow. They push her over to, what was it? The Road to UFC. They're like, you're the not even a B side. You're the C side. Like, you're in here to get killed by the Chinese doctor. That girl was supposed to be the next big thing after her major head kick win. And she wins that fight. So she's kind of in a weird spot. And honestly, it's not the worst situation for her in a rematch where she won the first one by guillotine. But talk about a low percentage outcome, right? Like shooting into a gilly or sub like that against a freight train, I would say, for the small weight division here in Alexa, who just brings a different style for these girls. It's aggression, and she's getting people out of there. When you're getting people out of there, potentially lower owned, right? It's a decent spot. the price tag, man. How do you get to the price tag? I don't know, John.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say appreciate you, Fresh and Swole. Great call on Nathaniel Wood last week. There were a few big dog calls. I had Danny Silva in the core. Didn't
That
just
was the
pick him
slate.
as a bet, but I had him as a core play on the site. Hopefully some people got some Danny's. I told you guys, never trust the dude in pink. What was it? The Pink Panther? We were trusting the Pink
He was
Panther. I think
blind.
not.
Hindsight, the guy had like, what's the prescription for blind? It's like a plus 50 prescription. When he puts those glasses on, he's a different guy.
It's crazy though. It's a great example though of like what I've always talked about on the show, where it's like, these fighters, when you see a guy with like a grappling wrestling edge, they're gonna automatically get a lot of times like the favorite nod. But it's like, I don't think people think about it the other way, where it's like, well, if the other guy's the better striker, the odds flip when the fight stays, striking. You know what I mean? So I think everyone doesn't want to get like just ground and pounded to death, so they're scared of fading the wrestlers and going with the strikers. But man, when it goes right, it looks like that Danny Silva fight, and the odds should have been almost flipped.
Sean Strickland might be, to date, the best of the year when it comes to that mold.
Right.
If the fight takes place on the feet, Sean is far superior on the feet. That's the situation. And Danny Silva is a guy that's been tested already. It's not like you're getting a guy that's fresh and green.
Good fighters too, Danny Silva. And they knew who they were putting Curtis Campbell up. They knew it was a good test for Curtis Campbell, who was running through guys. And they were like, all right, we'll see. We'll see if you can run through. And I just knew that line was absolutely insane. So hopefully some people got that. And fucking the Mason Jones fight was an absolute banger of a fight. You want to talk about a great fight? I mean, that was awesome. I'm glad he won because I had Mason Jones, but wow, that was crazy. So,
how do they have to push him now? Like, there's no excuse to not push Mason Jones. Sorry, I'm passionate. I love MMA. I could talk it all day. You know it, and I know it. But like, they have given him just like little competition every card over in Europe. Isn't it time for him to come to the States and get like a fringe top 15 guy, like a veteran guy, to get him towards that top 15? Like, you got to do that. He's too fun. But, but we go from
Iwu is also fun. the Iwu fight, that dude is gonna have some very exciting fights. The way he just goes forward.
He's judo. I actually bet the ladder. I sprinkled a little 0.1 on each, one takedown. I'm like, what's the point of least resistance against a massive guy? Just take him down. Of course, he's chinny, right? JSU. He's super chinny in Austin Lane, but all I need is like a takedown and I could be okay. No, he just said, nope, screw that. And he's got a great bit of momentum on his punches because of that judo based, right? Like judo is about throws. So short little hooks like that are going to put people out very quickly.
Mike, did you just realize I jumped out and jumped in?
I did.
Yeah. You're such a veteran. You just kept talking like nothing happened. And
no big deal. I would have gone right into the fight. I was right. If you wanted, you could have come back in. I'd be going. I've done a solo before.
You like the lighting? You like the new? I'm surprised. No one's really talked about my new setup I got here. I got banished to the basement by the wife, and this is the first comment. JSU's got porn star lighting today. I mean, new camera looks good, I guess, is what you're saying. That's what I got going here. So yeah, appreciate it.
I think you just got to be careful if like the guys come to mow the lawn today, we're screwed. It's just gonna be so loud.
I'll be all right. I'll be all right. But
Alexia
Gronk
Thainara.
jersey. So the Gronk jersey's upstairs still. If you could see though, I got like all this stuff that all along my wall. I have like my signed Iverson thing. I got all types of like Celtic stuff. I got tons of stuff I gotta like put up on the wall. The Gronk one, you will see. I got a signed Jordan jersey. It's gonna look sick once I finish it. I got a bunch of stuff coming today, like these panels for the Echo. So hopefully the Echo's not that bad because it's kind of a empty-ish room. But yeah, it's gonna look sick when I'm done. So and Matty Ice, a new chair. I'm getting a new chair. So this thing is going in the garbage soon. So new chair is
You should
coming.
auction it off.
Dude, I should, honestly.
Like,
It's insane the wear that I put on this chair. Like, it's absolutely insane. I don't even know how it's possible.
Yeah.
But
well, I will say we have all of this 10 minutes in to say don't play Bruno Brazil. She like, think about it. We haven't said anything about the fight. Alexa Thainara brings the fight, man. 100 points plus every time. Is it going to be enough on this slate? I'm not entirely sure. Bruna puts up resistance. Can you agree with that? And enough resistance that it probably stalls out scoring from a fantasy standpoint. Like, hopefully they give her a pick 6 score of a zillion, and then we could take that under, right?
Yeah. So, and of course, I got booted because of the baby. Yes, who's coming? But this fight, I think the easiest way to look at it is Alexa Thainara looks kind of overpriced. Do you think that she comes in, Mike, with a game plan of takedowns? She has takedowns when she wants to, but she also has that style that she can kind of like bounce around, strike with you a little bit. And it's not really the most friendly. It's that like in and out, not very friendly for like DFS purposes. So you really, if she's paying off this tag, it's either a quick like knockdown and sub, like very quick, or you're hoping she gets a bunch of takedowns in a late finish. That's, probably what you want at this price tag. So I don't know. I don't see the volume takedowns. Not that I think Bruna Brazil, even though she won last time, I don't think she's the better fighter. Thainara is now the better fighter for sure, in my opinion. But is Bruna Brazil tough enough to kind of make it a little tougher for her not to get finished quickly, but also not to get just like ragdolled with like takedowns over and over for Thainara? I do think she is, Mike. So to me, I don't love this fight as much for DFS. I think if you just like compare Chiesa fight to this fight, I think Chiesa is the better of the upper 9K, and I don't even really like love him. I just think he's better than Thainara. So I'm just gonna be kind of lower on this fight, and I don't really have like any bets I love either. Like, I think people like Thainara by sub. I don't know. I could see this being a decision, boring fight.
Oh, definitely. And tends to be closer for Brazil. Like, there's certain fighters this year in particular that you can sniff out that they're just, you look at the record, split decision, and you're like, what's going on? And it seems like Brazil tends to have that 50-50 type fights, but I do think the same thing you do. Thainara, more physical. She's grown into herself, has the ability to dance in and out, which means no scoring. I do agree with B Nair and chat though. Like, I feel like getting a little bit of Bruna. First of all, 5%. It's easy to match the field, right? It's very easy to get there. It at least gives you the win equity. I think you don't need win equity. I think you're looking for ceilings, and I think she has a pretty severe small ceiling on the slate, right? Like, I think you'd strictly be playing Bruna in fantasy from a win standpoint. And Thainara.
So where's the? I just have a question because you said she has upside. Where's the upside?
Who, Bruna?
Yeah, like how's she?
No, it's win equity. That's what
win
I was
equity.
saying.
Okay,
Strictly win equity. I said she had a limited ceiling. Right?
I think if she wins, she's gonna score like 55.
70 max.
I don't think she's even getting to 70 if she wins.
Yeah.
But think about it. In her wins, she's getting takedowns. I don't think that's going to be her game plan against Thainara.
No.
So if she's not getting the takedowns, she's probably not getting the 70 or 80 you're going to want. She's probably getting 50 or 60 if she's not getting the takedowns, if it's just a striking match. So, yeah, I don't know. You guys can play Brazil. I'm not playing her, but I get it.
I'm not, but I'm saying it's easy to match it if you think everything else on the card goes right and you got the one winner to really unlock the slate. 15% owned Thainara, 5% Brazil.
See, I don't know about this. There's a lot of live dogs, closely lined fights, cheap fighters. This isn't one of them. I don't know if 40 is going to be optimal on a slate like this, where I could see a lot of dogs winning.
Even there's dogs that can score until the end. Like there are going to be some dogs that might put up. How many times? Let's talk about last week if we could real quick. I believe the winner had a 52-point loser and then had all the other 110-point plus fighters. Did you see the winning lineup last week? I wish I could pull it up for you. I'm not going to have the time to do so, but it was a wild build where it was just a fighter in that 77, 78 or whatever that put up 52 points in a loss.
Wasn't it Nathaniel Wood in a win? Didn't he like?
Oh yeah.
Well?
Okay, I'm thinking lost because it was so low.
He didn't score well. It was like 60 points, right, or something like that.
Yeah, essentially it was a loss, right? But in order, because of the ceilings being 130 on some, 110 on most of the other winners, that's where it comes into play. Where it's like, what does you're narrowing your outcomes when you're playing in Brazil? Like there has to be, everybody else has to win their fights as chalk. That's the problem. So I think we go from that.
Age is the worst DFS fighter for a male we've seen in a very long time.
I thought he would be
the
drawn
absolute
into it.
worst of the guys. In his wins, he's still not putting up. It's just insane. And then after he gets mad because he gets kind of like called out, and it's like, dude, your fights suck. Like you're dancing around, showboating. You're not fighting. Like, go fight him. He just wants to counter. It's like, go forward for once. I don't know.
I thought it was wild that Patterson didn't push his advantage on the ground. I mean, he could get to the clinch, and then they just played.
He tried to clinch him up because he doesn't have like good takedowns, Patterson. But I thought he was going to have some success once he got into the clinch, and he just didn't.
Yeah, and again, my whole situation with Page was 10% for a guy that was plus 150 to win inside the distance. If he's pushing the pace, that backs up my point right away that there's first round equity. That's what I'm buying into, and I know he's shit for scoring. So definitely a situation.
Yeah, I mean, Ray says Delitze 37 was a winner for him. I mean,
it was
I'm
a
not
weird
saying
play.
You can't cash or win with a low score. I'm just saying there's slates to do it, and I just don't think this slate you're going to see a 50 or 60 from Brazil be what wins, but I could be wrong.
Next fight up, we talk about a higher level fight. I was shocked it's pushed so far down the card because you got a hometown guy in Ricky Simone minus 175 on DraftKings Sportsbook versus Adrian Yanez. He is a plus 145 underdog. The sigh has come out again because it's tricky. I could see this thing being competitive on the feet, and then there's not a lot to love from a fantasy aspect. Simon did say he's going to try to get back to that wrestling game plan. If he does, it's tough against Yanez. He's a great striker that prevents a lot of takedowns. Like his striking is his defense to get to the mat, right? Like he's just, people don't want to get hit by him. So he's had a good amount of time off. A guy like this can still develop skills. Certainly hope he's working on that takedown defense against Simon. We have seen Simon in the past. Do people forget what he's put up for DFS? Do you remember in his heyday? He was like 135. He won against Marab, but again, that's that style of fight where if you can negate it, it draws you into scoring. I personally think there's a wider range of outcomes here. I think that Yanez has great win equity for the slate. He fits what's my mold better inside the distance line than his opponent. You have him on DraftKings Sportsbook being approximately, earlier in the week, I saw plus 225 compared to Simon's plus 350. So he's got a path of winning early. But it seems if Simon's going to grapple, that could have some upside. So I think it's a sneaky good fight. I just worry that the name value's here, don't you? So it drives ownership up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be one of those fights where Yanez has the advantage on the feet, and Ricky, I think, smartly is going to try and get this thing to the ground where he should have the advantage. Now, Ricky does have like power when he throws. He will throw heavy when he enters the pocket. So it's not like he doesn't have power to put someone like Yanez out. but I do think the easiest path for him is trying to get the takedowns. This makes for an interesting DFS and betting fight, because I think for DFS, the upside is clearly with Ricky Simone, because he has the takedown relentless style if he wants to go to it. And I think this fight kind of makes sense because Yanez is going to have the speed advantage big time, I think, here. So if this is a striking fight for 3 rounds, Simon's going to lose. I think anyways, unless he wins like the bigger moments, but I just don't think if he can't get Yanez to the ground for a little bit, he's going to win all of those bigger moments on the feet. So I think for DFS, it's a good fight to target. Honestly, I want to be honestly a little over on Ricky Simone. And I think from a betting angle, though, Yanez would be the bet at plus money. So it's a little like,
it's funny how that works.
Yeah.
The guy that's more DFS friendly.
Because Yanez in a win is still not guaranteed to put up like a ton, because he's going to have to defend takedowns. And Ricky's going to be probably relentless. So, but I do think, both guys are tough. So, it does feel to me like a decision fight, doesn't it, Mike?
Oh, absolutely. And in that regard, it would be for DFS towards the grappler who has rinse repeat. He has mat return. Something we've seen this year is dramatically impacting slates is mat returns. That's possible in this fight for damn sure. And if you're going to do it any fight, do it in your hometown where you can just rinse repeat, hold the guy. Like, you're buried down the card. You're not fighting for a bonus. No offense, guys, but Yanez does have legit finishing equity. We've seen Simon hurt so many times in the past. Like, who was the soft-handed one? Was it Uriah on his like near retirement fight where he knocked him out? Horrible look for sure. Ownership-wise, you played it perfectly. Simon about 10 to 15% owned. That's way too low for a guy that has a direct grappling path. Then you have Yanez, who's pretty much the stone-cold chalk guy down here. A third of the field, 33% basically, going to be playing him. I think if you fade it too, goes to a decision, and they end up kickboxing, you could be in a good spot. So there is a wide range of outcomes, which makes it very, very interesting. Now, maybe a less wide range outcome. We have Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopes. We have Sterling at a minus 650 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Bruno comes back at a plus 470. Is this like our trappy type of situation, man? Why Navajo Sterling minus 650? He's a decent prospect. I think the next step is going to be towards that top 15, but buddy, you got to take Bruno serious. 5% own Bruno. I'm immediately interested. I'm not saying go over the field on him, but I feel like the path of scoring for Bruno is pretty damn high in the first round. Like he could just go for it.
Yes, we will pull up pick 6, by the way. So if you guys are doing pick 6, lock in McKinney 1.3 by KL. All right, we'll see. I'll pull it up though in a second. Navajo Sterling is a guy that I have not trusted, and I'm probably going to continue not to trust, to be honest with you. He just doesn't fight. I feel like he's talented. He's definitely the more talented fighter in this fight. Now, the more talented fighter doesn't always win, doesn't always look great, whatever the case may be. And it's not like, he's won against like absolute killers or anything like that, but he just hasn't looked, in my opinion, as good as maybe like the odds have suggested and stuff like that throughout his, early UFC career. And that obviously can change. He should look like the favorite he is in this spot, right, Mike? Like, it just, in my opinion, Bruno Lopes, I think he's going to come in. I think he's going to try and be aggressive and maybe go for the takedowns. If Navajo is smart, he would just defend the takedowns and keep this a striking fight, which I think he'll just find a knockout at some point. So I think he wins the fight. I just don't know if it's going to be DFS friendly or if Bruno Lopes' style can slow the fight down a little bit early, and maybe it's like a second or third round finish here. And at 9,400, you're going to need a big score. Like, you're going to need a 105 plus, Mike, probably on this card.
Easy 105, yeah.
And I don't know. I say this like I don't know why he would wrestle, but he probably will wrestle because of Bruno's style. Like Bruno's gonna probably try and wrestle, I think, and Navajo might just wrestle too. So yeah, I mean, he's a guy I'm just lower on in general because I don't trust him, but I am gonna pick him in this fight, and I probably will bet him to get a finish, but probably like a second round finish or something. For DFS though, I'm coming in like I got him 18% on my lineups.
Yeah, so I've got him at 40% projected. Probably same thing drawn in towards that inside the distance line. But this is a guy that wants a pretty fight. He doesn't like a dirty fight. He wants that thing clean on the feet, kickbox 1-2, 1-2. If you want to grapple, sure, he's able to be a generalist in that region, being Sterling. I just think it's on Lopes. Make this thing dirty, make this thing ugly. And I think it's a really interesting spot for him. When he wins, he's extremely crucial to the slate. A great number on him as well. And I think, like you said, he's got multiple paths. He could go grappling against Sterling. He could stall out his scoring Sterling's, which means Lopes would be scoring. I don't think I'm, saying lock dog of the week, right? Like, no, not at all. I just think I'm sniffing out a potential letdown spot for a guy who's got some hype. Now, fantasy points, 94.5 expected on pick 6 for Sterling. Lopes a 35.5. They're not giving us those 105. Like if 105, I may even say you and I could take the under, right? Like we're almost want to take it if it's 105. Can't really do it there, right? Significant strike market. It's going to be tight, right? It's going to be one of those situations where 46.5, a decision, he's easily getting there, right?
Yeah, if it's a decision, he's probably getting there. Yes. That's a high number for I feel like for him.
Yeah, for sure. If we want to go back, I would say Simon, significant strikes. Just off the rip here is an interesting spot. We both think it's going to a decision. The sportsbooks thinks it's going to a decision. This is a guy who, yes, he grapples, but he does actually actively try to go for those strikes.
Do you like that more than the takedowns? You like the strikes?
What do we have on takedowns?
It's the 2.5 line.
Oh, it's tight. Let's see what the let's take a little peek at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Use their own info against themselves, right? So, yeah, I think I might want the over there. Here's why. The ladder starts at 4, and it's plus 150 for 4 for Ricky.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's what, minus 160, minus 150 for 3 takedowns.
Yeah, I think I like the takedown line too.
And he said he's going to do it. I actually believe that at home, like with his brothers there. He said his brothers, I've got him back to the wrestling.
Honestly, it would make sense for this fight. Like that fight, it would literally make a lot of sense for him to go back to that style. So
yeah, I like that a lot too. Thainara, nothing in that first fight. Sterling, I don't necessarily think we have to touch anything. If there was like
less than 3.5 takedowns, do you think she shoots for 4+ takedowns?
I also like that, but I didn't want to say it because I wasn't too convinced.
We'll click it for now. We'll click it for now.
I guess it comes down to Brazil and her takedown defense. So she's been taken down once, twice. She's never been early in her career. Denise Gomes 3, and Marnik Mann took her down 3 times.
Oh my God!
This little meatball, totally different build.
Yeah.
And you look at her overall takedown defense, and in a significant amount of fights, 61% for Brazil. So,
her like Thainara's grappling though, if she implements it, is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I don't think she finds a sub, but she has the ability to find a sub.
She'll control until something appears, and then she'll go for it. So, yeah. Did
so nothing on the Lopes Sterling fight?
Nothing for me at the moment. I wish that Sterling was your 110, and then we go under.
Yeah, well,
it's not gonna. Right. They're not gonna hand us that every time. Yeah. So 5% Lopes might be one of the lower owned guys on the slate. Just gonna say that he might be the first or second lowest guy. So potentially an upset type of guy for sure.
He's gonna go for it at least.
That's why I think I'm interested. It could at least.
I just think he's clearly not as skilled as Navajo.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Navajo can panic under pressure sometimes. And if he makes
Definitely.
it ugly, that might look like a really, really good bet. Let's move on to the next fight of the night with Casey O'Neill versus Gabriela Fernandez. We have Casey O'Neill coming in as the favorite now in this spot. Earlier in the week, the dog -122 on DraftKings Sportsbook, +102 for Gabriela Fernandez. How does Gabby score? Because Casey O'Neill has some great scoring ability in her fights. Obviously, a lot of hype behind her. I feel like a lot of the guys get behind their Casey O'Neill girl, and Gabby just goes in there and wins fights so far. Carly Judice, I guess, went to war. 120 strikes in that spot. Wayne Kong, she says, all right, I just gotta one round, be okay in there. Bang, gets her out in the second. Julia, I don't even know if Julia Stinkarenko, I don't know what I rank that fight, but she is getting wins in the UFC. Then you get Casey, who is she a 50-50 fighter? Do you think she's more close to a 50-50 fighter than she is a prospect at this stage? I feel like she could be.
Yeah, probably, but I mean, she's good though. Casey O'Neill's a solid fighter. I like Casey O'Neill. I think she's kind of all around pretty good. I also like Fernandez is a fighter that I've had some success with kind of betting. I was on her against Kong Wang, and I literally had her inside the distance on the sheet over at runpuresports.com. I gave it out on the show. Everyone hated that pick too. Literally everyone did not like her. Massive dog. And I just said, I knew her style. She's super patient. She's very patient. She throws when she throws, she will throw heavy. She does have decent speed, and I think her grappling is solid too, even though she doesn't use it all the time. But Casey O'Neill, I think, is like the perfect test because I feel like Casey O'Neill is slightly the better fighter wherever this fight kind of goes, Mike. That's just my thing. I don't think she's like way better. So I kind of lean Casey O'Neill, but these are two fighters that I'm normally on. So
Don't you
it's
have to
tough for
take
me.
I almost have to take the Fernandez plus money now. She was firmly placed as the favorite, and it stayed all week long. This seems like one of those potential situations that I've been talking about where there's FOMO. All right, you got the hot girl narrative in O'Neill. You got the people talking her up. She has more tools, I would say, just because she can
You're not
grind
a
a
fan of
little.
Gabby? You're not a fan of Gabby?
Uh, don't even get me going.
I don't know. She's built. She's built, Mike. She'd throw you around.
It's fine with me. Listen, you should see my.
Don't lie. You would
my
totally
hip
grapple with Gabby Fernandez. You would totally have a
No,
grapple.
no. I want Gabby. What's the heavyweight one? Help, Gabby Garcia.
Oh yeah.
That's my girl. Come on,
yeah.
you got to go all in if you're going that route. Casey O'Neill, yes, more tools to win the fight, but I think crisper, cleaner in a kickboxing, in a cleaner fight, Fernandez is going to look like a -250. She's not O'Neill's fights when she gets in there and tries to grapple, control. She can volume strike, I guess, but sometimes it's not the most amount of power. I don't know.
Not power, but it's volume for sure.
Correct. Which do we grade the power striking from, like you said, a Fernandez hitting one that stumbles her a little versus the 7-piece combo? I'm not entirely sure. I'm just saying I think.
Look at the line on significant strikes. 78.5 for Casey O'Neill and just the over on pick 6. And Gabby's up at 50.5. And I think that's more to do because honestly, Gabby's line feels high, but I think that's more to do with Casey O'Neill's style, right?
She
Mike?
also doesn't put a ton out there. So one stat I always quote is significant strike output versus the input. If I told you Gabriela Fernandez has a negative strike differential, she's 3.56 out, 5.19 in. That is not good. That's not long term.
She's very patient. And Casey O'Neill's the opposite. She's going to come forward, which I guess maybe that does make Gabby a better play in DFS because I think there's going to be action in this fight. I don't know if it's going to be like that boring, to be honest with you.
No, I agree. And you look at ownership wise, directly here in the middle, basically middle range, you're getting a fight that potentially has a very popular Casey O'Neill 40% owned versus Gabby's 10%. You said earlier, Simon, right? Simon actually potentially lower owned than the win equity guy in Yanez. You're basically getting the same thing here with a significantly lower owned fight, I would say. I think that Yanez is going to absorb a ton of that dog equity. Well, who do you want more? How do you grade O'Neill versus Yanez? Yanez, I guess, a little way more limited, but I feel like his win equity is
I
worse.
think Ricky has a better chance of stalling that fight for scoring for Yanez than in this other fight with Gabby and O'Neill. Not saying that he's like because Gabby could still lose, but I'm just saying like Ricky with the takedowns and relentless style, if it's working, it could stall the scoring for Yanez. Where I just think Casey O'Neill is going to move forward and kind of push the pace and force Fernandez to throw a little bit more, and probably makes Fernandez a little more uncomfortable. Honestly. But
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea that she's drawn into the scoring. That's a really sneaky potential spot. I mean,
she
we know it can blow up in our face, right? We're playing with a lot of fire, but Fernandez is a girl that could absolutely keep up countering. So I agree with you. I like it. And what do you say about the significant strikes? I almost wish it was like 45, don't you? Like 50 is pretty accurate. So
has
I like.
Gabby even thrown like that's a lot? Yeah. So in okay, but the Judice fight makes a ton of sense, right?
Yeah.
The way Carly Judice moves forward.
All the other fights are more like
I mean,
not
Stoliarenko
easy.
literally is just a grappler.
Yeah.
The Kong Wang fight ended early, but look it up to that point. She only had 18 strikes. I mean,
And the durability is here for both of them. Clearly, we don't even have
yeah.
to say anything about that because the over is going to be hammered.
I don't know if, I don't know if I see a finish, but I do think that you make good points about like low ownership and maybe, Gabby's output is higher in this fight. And you just
It's one
never
of the
know.
two. It's one of those situations where I don't think you absolutely don't go crazy and get two because you can pretty much do whatever you want on this slate. But if you're paying for the favorite nobody's going to want to play a reverse value. Every cash game player, every higher dollar entry, everybody that's playing this is going to play Casey O'Neill because of the value, right? But when you're drawn into a scoring affair, and that win equity is what? A hair? I mean, you're talking about still flip a coin basically at plus 108 there. Yeah.
And the other problem with Gabby is I don't think she's going to go for takedowns. Against Judice, she got some, but that's Judice. I don't think she's going to go for him against Casey O'Neill. I think if there's takedowns, it'd probably be on the other side, but
yeah, absolutely, because that's her kind of game plan through the years has been to kind of grind, right, Casey?
Right.
And shockingly enough, she has been taken down 3 of her last 4 fights, at least once, twice by Roxanne Modafferi. Just gonna throw that one out there. So perhaps you and I
229 significance. I don't even know how that's real.
Yeah.
That she had 229 sig strikes.
A little phantom scoring for the old UFC.
I mean, if you're playing one of these girls, you're kind of rooting for that phantom scoring, to be honest with you. But
that's why we would play it. So we've potentially sniffed out something there. We move on from the little weight classes back up to the heavyweight. We have Marcin Tybura versus Tyrell Fortune. Fortune making his dreams come true in the UFC, minus 130 on DraftKings Sportsbook, making the debut. Marcin Tybura, veteran, 40 years old. I'm worried, man. That's the age that we're just seeing the decline. Plus 110 for the veteran here in the UFC. Fortune, everyone, the narrative is going to be he's faced nobody coming into the UFC. Da, da, da. Okay. How many times do we see fighters that are in like a secondary promotion that start getting the hype? They maybe get an opportunity with a contender series. They get set back. You're not going to fight guys that are 10-0. You're going to want to fight the guys that are like 6-10, right? In the what's that old man's name? Tony Lopez's of the world. You should know that name from the years of combat sports. He's a
Dude,
veteran.
he's like 50.
Exactly. Those are the guys you want to fight because it keeps your record clean. So the UFC goes, oh, well, he hasn't lost a fight since he's been out.
Did you see his last 3 fights? Like the age? It's like 38, 50 something, 36. That's my point.
They want to keep him clean. Give him that shine, right? It's horrible. But I think this is a guy that's going to be sneaky scoring. Do you? Like, I think he's going to embrace scoring for fantasy.
He could. So here's the thing with Fortune. He has wrestling, and he's got power. I think he's gonna be the better striker slightly. Tybura's chin is not very good anymore, but Tybura's been around and everything like that. I did see though his Fortune's last loss. He went for a takedown, got it. It was a nice takedown, and then got caught in I think it was a heel hook or something like that. And just had no idea how to defend it and ended up getting subbed. But it's just would I be shocked if, even though he has the striking advantage, he shot for a takedown and then Marcin Tybura somehow found a way to reverse the position or get him in a submission and win the fight? No, I wouldn't be. I went back and forth on this fight because I think the longer this fight goes, it kind of may lean Tybura. And it might just end up being super sloppy and not good for DFS scoring. But at the same time, I think, Fortune does have upside to finish the fight early. So it's tough in DFS when you're looking at these prices. I mean, I have right now, I've got 24% Tyrell and only 10% Tybura. And honestly, I don't know. Should I have a little more Tybura? I mean, he's 7,900, and I do think there's a path because he could just grind him, try and take the power out of those shots early in the fight, and then maybe find his way on the ground. And I think if it's just strictly grappling and Tybura gets in strictly grappling positions, he's the better grappler. May not be the better wrestler, but the better grappler. So.
How many times do we see? How many times do we see Tybura against the cage, with the overhooks, underhooks battle, and then he'll try to just pump somebody down, catch them,
almost just hoping that Tyrell makes a mistake.
Correct, and then you just capitalize on it position wise. You're getting 2-1 ownership if you're going to be going for Tybura. I'm not necessarily on it. It's one of those situations where it's an unranked fighter making a debutante against number 6 in the world. When do you see that opportunity? I don't think you ever see a debutante necessarily get a top 15 guy, let alone a near top 5 guy. Fortune's going to be in play. Where's my brain going? Well, give me that futures. Give me the futures line. No, it's not.
Don't do it.
It's not going to happen this year. You know that, and I know it. But it's right there. He immediately becomes in contention if he gets.
Well, I mean, anyone who can do something, they need something in this division. So, yeah, I mean,
we know who the calling card is, dude. It's Gable.
Mm-hmm.
Tybura in his last few fights, not taken down once by Mick Parkin. That certainly can't age very well.
Yeah, but that's Parkin style. He goes for takedowns. I mean,
I wish I could get to the 2 takedowns.
I'm telling you right now, Tybura is going to welcome a takedown, I think.
Yeah. Why?
He does not want to stand with this. I don't think he's going to want to stand with this dude because he's just going to want to get him against the fence. That's going to be Tybura's game plan. Get him against the fence, just grind on him, like you said, and then try and trip him, get him to the ground, and then work from there.
You might want to do something crafty. If you think this thing gets that ugly and gassy, why don't you head towards the go to a decision at plus 225? I'm not talking you into a play at all, but
you are
over 1.5 minus 140. I mean, a competitive fight. You're saying
what's
fight round
the fight
2?
to end in decision here?
Fight to end in a decision is plus 225 on DraftKings Sportsbook, my friend. That's a little greedy. Like I said, you could even put in round to start 2, which is
what's that?
Minus 245, because that's
Yeah.
What about round 3? Round 3 is plus 110 to start round 3.
At that point, I think I'd just take the decision bet, but I don't know. I feel like Tybura is live for a sub at some point if he doesn't get knocked out early. I think those are the scenarios I'm going between right now.
Yeah, no, I don't hate it. And I think for context of slate, certainly pricing everything, this is going to be an important one of how you attack things. I personally think Tyrell will be a little bit lower owned. For some reason, I'm projecting Fortune to be 33% and Abdul Malik at 25. I think Abdul Malik will be higher and Fortune will be a little bit lower. So we'll get to that in a little bit, and how we'll be conducting our lineups and how to build things, because it is somewhat of a tricky slate out there. And it's such a tricky slate that we have Chase Hooper, the most physical fighter on the slate, versus Lance Gibson Jr. Hooper, minus 325 after getting knocked out as Stone Cold Shock against Alex Fernandez. He was supposed to go in there and roll Hernandez, and he just gets lit up with the last few seconds of the round. Striking defense is still a massive hole for this kid. But do we think Lance Gibson is going to go in there and knock his block off?
Well, I think that Lance Gibson is clearly the better striker. I don't think, I mean, it's Chase Hooper. So could Lance Gibson get in there and fucking hurt Chase Hooper on the feet? Absolutely could. And also too, let's not forget, Lance Gibson, I think on short notice, went and fought Bobby Green, who all of us thought Bobby Green washed all this stuff, right? What did Bobby Green just go do as a big dog? Almost a similar dog to what Lance Gibson is. He went and knocked out Daniel Zellhuber, and then we're all like, oh, Bobby Green, he's still good, right? Like, I don't think Lance Gibson won that fight. I don't think it should have been that close. But what I'm saying is Bobby Green's still a pain in the ass to deal with. You know what I mean? When he's tough to hit at times, right, Mike? Like, he's an easy person to just get thrown in against in your UFC debut. So I think we need to cut him just a little bit of slack for that last fight. And I think people are dinging him way too much for it. This is one of those fights. I think there's clear advantages. I think Chase Hooper's got that clear advantage if this thing gets into a grappling match. And if I'm Lance Gibson, I am trying to stay away from grappling. Nothing. He shoots a takedown, stop the takedown, get to space. Do not let this dude just grapple you. Make it a striking fight. If he can make it a striking fight, this line is way too wide. And that's what I'll say about this. I'm betting Gibson. I'm going to be over on Gibson because I do think that if this fight can stay on the feet, not that he's the most amazing fighter, but I think it's just a way closer fight. So yeah, if Chase Hooper gets this thing to the ground, he's going to look like that minus 400, minus 325 favorite. But if it stays on the feet, I think it's, a lot closer than what that line entails. So good fight to target. It's actually one of my favorite fights for DFS because you can easily play both sides of this coin here. There's two fights for me that I'm going to be way over on. This is one of the two. I think the other one's pretty obvious, but I think people should get a lot of this fight. This is one of those fights, you're going to fall into it. You're either going to fall into, I think, Chase Hooper dominating the grappling, which is going to score well, I think. And if not, I think Lance Gibson's live to hurt Chase Hooper, maybe get a finish on the feet.
Lance Gibson by knockout on DraftKings Sportsbook is one of the better prices out there. Everybody's like 500, if not lower. It's 550 by knockout for him, just so you know. And 50 cents of value long term. Not a bad little sprinkle when it hits. It doesn't seem like a binary fight, straight up.
Very.
And
very.
when it is, and there's action, it makes you want to play heavy on this. And I agree with you. Chase Hooper is really tricky to do now because of the chin situation. I actually called I don't know. I don't think it was on RPS at that stage. Steve Garcia against Hooper, just because he hit like a mule, right? Is Lance that mold? I don't know. Is Lance I would put Lance closer to the Alex Hernandez than anything, because he just doesn't, it's not going to be a lot, but it can be explosive. And then
and I think he throws heavy too. I just think at times when you watch the Bobby Green fight, I think he was struggling because he was throwing at air a lot of the time. And, so it looked like he was hesitating. And it's Bobby Green, man. Bobby Green's tough when he's doing the thing and his hands are low and he's playing that game and stuff. It's got to be irritating as fuck. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
The Chase Hooper, just to put a bow on it, man, is like that chin is going to be okay if he's close, but like the bigger octagon helps him. What was the fight that he faced the veteran in? And he almost retired Jim Miller. He looked like $1 zillion. Remember what he put up for a score on that one? Like I don't have it open at the moment. That's why I'm saying it that way. But he controlled him. He controlled him. And he was all the way in, all the way out, which is a better style for him. I feel like the smaller octagon was against Steve. He gets knocked out. And then he made it a smaller octagon against Alex Hernandez. Like he was too close, all in. And he got caught. So definitely a spot I like as well. So potential leverage, right? Gibson is an immense amount of leverage, and that's what we like to see. Let's move on to another spot here where we see Ignacio Bahamondes versus Tofik Musayev. We have Bahamondes a minus 305 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Come back on Musayev a plus 245. What do I preach all the time? Buy low. It's Tofik Musayev a buy low spot. How do you factor in the oral buy fight? Like I don't particularly understand. I think he's one of two fighters from Azerbaijan. They signed him just to get him into the UFC on that card. He was a guy that was a decent prospect, 22-6, somewhat of a generalist, but at the same time, he's closing a massive favorite outside of the UFC. Bahamondes is awesome. Love his fighting style. Love his flashy striking. Love the ability that he uses those long arms on submissions. But are you telling me that we're just going to sell Musayev already? Is that what we're doing here? Seems like a little wide. I do understand Bahamondes is the fresher guy, the better striking. This thing kickboxing all day him. But am I sniffing out something a little too crazy? I mean, what if Musayev goes in with the takedown game plan? Who's the guy that Ludwig Klein, like what? Kickboxer, can grapple, uses a little bit of jiu-jitsu, low center of gravity. What if he goes in with that game plan? Does Musayev look like a way closer underdog?
I mean, he might. I don't think he's a bad fighter. I'm not sure if he's at this level of Bahamondes, who I think is a good fighter, like a very good fighter, who's beaten a lot of good fighters here. Don't forget, the Torres, Turner, these closely lined fights where he goes in there, loses to Fiziev, but okay, that's, Fiziev obviously is a really good. He's not losing to a ton of he's losing to good fighters is my point. And he's beat a lot of good fighters too, ran through some very good fighters. So I don't know. Could Tofik come in and bring in a style that gives Bahamondes a little bit of issue? Maybe. But I think at the end of the day, Bahamondes is just a little too skilled for him in the end. The question is 9,200. What do we think in terms of the pricing? Because Bahamondes, when he's winning, he's putting up some pretty good scores.
Well, because he's so long. If you're long, you're going to continue the either phantom scoring or just the jab from a long distance. And I guess if Tofik goes with the method that I said that he might be trying to go for, that would mean he's going to be drawn into the scoring. It's frustrating. It's like Fiziev, right? 4 takedowns. I think it is almost another type of situation where it's like Tofik could just get hit once on the feet and panic wrestle and it literally might fall into his favor, or he gets it and then he's able to survive, which is going to be concerning.
So do you think Tofik is a decent dog play just because he does have the wrestling upside, possibly?
Yes. I'm going to say I probably like him. God, this is horrible to say because I love Juicy J. Juicy J, the veteran of the UFC. I like him that much more, just a little hair more than Juicy J, because I think of the grappling could potentially be there. And Bahamondes, sometimes game plan wise, I'm not going to say you can get cooked, but like later in the fights, what was it, the Klein fight? Like those takedowns, just keep distance, man. Just keep that frame posture off. I like betting into unknowns. You know that by now, right? That's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense to get a sliver of Tofik. I wonder what do I have? I don't have much of him, but
well, I don't think people want to play him, right? I have him about 15% owned, and I don't mind calling something out when it's just ownership based, right? Like I'm not saying Tofik slam dunk, gonna win the fight, big dog. I just like to give the outcomes of Bahamondes is still somewhat green, is he not? I mean, he's developing in the UFC.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he's fought some damn good competition. I don't think at this point. I mean,
he's not a finished product. I don't think he's a finished product.
Well, maybe
I think he's still developing.
Maybe he's got a little more upside for sure.
Yeah,
I think Tofik is what he is more my point.
Well, when's the last time you saw an Azerbaijan top 5 guy?
Exactly. There you go.
Sometimes you answer your own questions. Were you
are you picking Tofik or are you picking Bahamondes?
Ownership play DFS. I am picking Tofik.
Oh, damn it.
Sorry. Well, is it the situation where you want to get Bahamondes because he's potentially lower owned in that 9K?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, we've got a lot of interesting 9K fighters, and I don't know. I feel like Bahamondes has similar upside to a lot of these guys that are going to be more popular, like Sterling and Thainara and all these guys. What do you have Bahamondes coming in at?
25% owned. Thainara, lower than him at 15. Everybody else way over the 30%, or at least way over, meaning firmly over.
All right.
You don't like it. It's a tough upper echelon slate. Like when you're looking at it, because it could just take one of the leverage guys, a Musayev. I butchered that. Arosa, a Gibson. Those 3 guys. And I would group my guy Lopes in there too, but I think once you go below Musayev, it's Lopes price.
What do we think of Bahamondes over fantasy points? 89.5.
You're trying to draw me in with the minus 130.
I am.
Minus 300. No, minus 300. It's tight. It's pretty tight, is it not? That probably is like a 92 to 95 point equity.
All right. Maybe we'll get you on the next fight here. Go to the next one.
No problem. Next fight, is it potentially the fight of the night? It's a Terrence McKinney fight. That's all you have to say. When it's Terrence McKinney in a fight, we like to go for it for fantasy.
Look at that time. Look at that time right there.
What's this time? Like 50 seconds?
5 minutes. You get one round with Terrence McKinney.
That's the way it is. And then the interview, which I posted in chat early in the Discord, rather. That he says, yeah, I'm going to fight more conservative. Haha. Yeah, right, Terrence. Minus 185, Mr. McKinney. And we have Kyle Nelson, a plus 154. This is a setup fight. What happened to Kyle Nelson last time out? He lost. There's no way. How did he win that fight against Matt Frevola?
I mean, he won. They said he won it. I don't think he won it, but
it was the referee. He was out. He was out cold. That's the situation where it's like Steve knocked his blocks off, shaved years off the end of his career, because this is a veteran of the game that's going to continually get UFC.
Yeah, but fights. Steve is doing that. Steve is.
I know, but he took years off the end of his career. What I'm saying is Steve knocked the sense into him. Then Frevola knocked him out, which isn't a good look. What do you think Terrence McKinney, if he's going to come out with a bat out of hell, is going to do to a Kyle Nelson? there's a clear A side. And
so here's the thing though. Kyle Nelson, to his credit, if you want to say anything good about him, because I think Kyle Nelson's just one of those fighters, like when you watch him, what's like his best attribute? I don't know. He's just like, okay, but he is, outside of that Steve Garcia fight, you got to give him he is durable for a fighter. All right. If you
come on,
JSU. Look at his career. What do you mean? Come on.
I'm saying come on because he got knocked out, silly Steve. Then he gets knocked out the next fight, but he won, so he's okay. He was out.
Okay, fine. He's been durable outside of that Steve fight for the last like 5 or 6 fights. So
yes,
it is what it is. Can he last around with Terrence? Can he get this thing to round 2 where we know Terrence McKinney struggles once it gets out of that first round? I mean, I think it's possible. I'm not saying, like, clearly the better fighter is Terrence McKinney. He's by far the better fighter. So, talent-wise, we know he's going to have the advantages. He's going to have the power. He's going to have the finishing upside early, 100%. So the DFS upside is in Terrence McKinney. But at Kyle Nelson's price tag, I'm just going to say, like, I think you can lock this fight, but you should have some Kyle Nelson, because at 7,500, a second round finish is going to pay. It's going to pay out. So I got to look at what second round finish is, but I probably will bet that.
Why don't you blindly take the submission against McKinney every time? I mean, I think if you do
his submission props got to be huge.
Oh, so Kyle Nelson on DraftKings submission plus 800 according to Fight Odds IO. Put that with a round 2 and you are getting a semi truck, backed up Brinks truck to your house, I'm sure. But personally, I like McKinney by knockout. That's just what I'm going to be calling for the fight. I think it's a 1 or 2 round. But that Kyle Nelson submission number is pretty juicy for a guy that is slick. And he's a smarter fighter. I will give you that, right? Like plus you talk about his durability, he's a smart fighter.
Yeah, that's fair.
And he knows he needs to survive. I just do think he gets clipped. I think the last fight, certainly. He just, remember how that fight ended, where he was just the one just like laying on top, like he was surviving. So definitely a smart fighter.
His round 2, I would like his round 2 prop is also plus 800. So like, give me his round 2 prop. I want his round 2.
Yeah, dissecting it in real time, right? Like I'm seeing submission covers round 1. But yeah, I see that point. It's literally blindly bet McKinney round 2 to lose and you win all the money as well. So it's always a trap when it's a McKinney fight. Now, ownership wise for fantasy, that's where the whole game comes down to, right? It's less about the plays. We know that everybody's going to want him 40 to 45. I think he's closer to the 45% for McKinney. And then you look at Nelson at being 20%. That's a great number. 2-to-1 leverage on a high paced fight. I think many times we've been asked, are you locking this fight? I don't think I'm a proponent of not locking any fight because there's just so many things that can happen. Not talking cancellations, nut kicks that a guy, ends up being no contest. Like lots of things happen. So I think locking a fight, you have to be like certain, but there's a world where each win a round, I guess, right? And then it goes to a 3rd round finish. But there's just too much action until that point. So hard to avoid this one. I like your call about the Hooper and Gibson.
Yeah, it's definitely this fight and the Hooper Gibson fight that I'm slamming. So I mean, I'm gonna lock this fight. You're gonna be under on this fight?
Unintentionally.
Yeah.
But the pricing.
What about the fantasy points here? 87.5, 75.5. What are we doing? Or should we do significant strikes? It's a low number.
Holy shit, that's a low number. He could get that as Kyle's just being a body bag on the mat.
Right.
One of the other things I want to say too is if McKinney is going to say from that interview and then go with a more tempered thing, Kyle Nelson does not wear damage very well. So if this thing goes to the cards, I can almost assure you that McKinney is going to be winning rounds because of the damage that he's done on Nelson. I'm like to cover my bases, right? You hate when I do this, but
look at the first rounds though. Like he's hitting over 21.5 on some of these early round finishes.
And then if he's tempered, like he said in the interview, that only helps.
I mean, if he's tempered, he's getting over
absolutely
the 21.5 anyways. So
well, I don't think he goes for takedowns right away. I don't know if he's smart enough to just stay out of Kyle's like guillotine and like he's a little craftier on the mat than I think people give him. Maybe Terrence knows that. Yeah.
Chat's not liking your take on I think staying not locking on this fight. Chad is against you on the not lock. That's all right. And
that's a-okay. I mean, listen,
the cover mishap was a test. It was a test and you passed. Tech Famous. So congratulations to you for the cover mishap. So what in the Joe Pyfer? I don't know what happened there, but we were trying it out. Gave it a try. It is what it is.
AI. Yeah. It's you got to try things. Absolutely. But maybe trying things. See, your boy pivots so smoothly.
Wait, hold on.
Does McKinney?
Well, you're pivoting. But we haven't locked this fight down.
It's regarding this fight. You want to try new things. Does McKinney really want to try going to a decision? See, I told
you never know. So you like the over on significant strikes?
I do.
All right, let's do it then.
See, boom. All that way to get there. Yes, I do like it as well. Right. And
I can't wait for the one punch knockout. Can't wait.
Oh, Terrence McKinney in Karate Combat is going to be like Rebellis. Hey, Rebellis is on the Netflix card. Sorry for a diatribe, but
oh yeah, I saw.
Amazing.
Who's he fighting?
GDS. Yeah, terrible fight. We all know that. Terrible fights all up and down the card. You should put your name in against Chris Avila. He doesn't have an opponent. Chris Avila, you know, the guy that's with the Diaz brothers. He's 6-7, dude.
I think I'm good. I think I'm good with that.
What about your Netflix?
I'll get in the octagon.
You got a baby.
I'll get in the octagon and I'll whoop on your ass. If
you got a baby coming, man. That's Netflix money.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm trying to give you a layup here.
I'm good.
Tell us about what's coming up on Run Pure Sports before we get to the most crazy flip a coin. What the hell happens here? My favorite fight on the slate, even more than the Terrence McKinney, because Bulgari and Abdul Malik is a banger. But tell me first, what is happening? We got March Madness happening, right? It's winding down here.
Yeah, March Madness, MLB. NBA still going on, almost the NBA playoffs, tons of good sports going on. Obviously, MMA today, NASCAR this week. We've been adding a bunch of new tools. Shout out to StatStational for a bunch of the new tool ads. He's got a weather tool going that is just absolutely mint for MLB, especially, but works for PGA too and stuff like that. Love the tool. It's huge for baseball. And the baseball product's been it's been awesome to start. I mean, only a couple days in, but Stevie Boynton, DC, did a great breakdown last night. Playbook was awesome. And a lot of I saw some screenshots in the Discord for MLB, and I think it's going to continue. So, yeah, tons of stuff coming down. Check it out if you haven't. We're adding tools. The NASCAR hub. There's going to be a new hub, I think, for baseball. Stats is working on actually a couple of different tools that are in beta right now that will probably be coming out soon. So it's a good time to check it out. Sign up. If you are a member, you want to try it again, check out the new tools. It's a good time. And if you just want to try out the Weather Edge tool that we got, that is free right now on the site. So you can just go to the site. Anyone can go on the site right now, click on the Weather Edge tool, and it's free. So try it out.
Pretty simple, right? It's like play, don't play, hell no, don't play. right? Like it's,
I mean, it literally gives you everything you're going to need. It's telling you the weather, the wind, which direction it's going in. It gives you everything. So,
you know what I did on opening day? I went right to open up my Run Pure Sports. Didn't have enough time at all to go in and dig in on what's it called? You know, like looking at projections and stuff. The core plays. I kind of aggregate some of the names that I see there, make some stacks. We min cash. It's okay. Min cash keeps you in business.
I
Don't
made
care about
cash
that.
last night in baseball. I was okay. I was okay. I was okay with that. So shout
Min
out
cash
to
keep you in business.
DC and his I think it was Cole Young call. Dude was plus 1,000, hit a bomb for us too. He talked about that on the show yesterday. So
do we have to beat DC? Do we have to come up with a play that's like a plus 1,000, try to beat him? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I'm not teeing it up because I have no clue yet, but we'll
Kyle Nelson to win a decision plus 1,800 or whatever it is. Or no, is that Jared McKinney 1,800?
Oh, I'm sure
that's
it's
right.
both of them.
Gestational is a badass. JSU going to be the next Nico Price, fighting solely because of kids. Listen, it's not kids. It's singular. One kid. Okay, J Ruff. There's only one kid coming right now, so we don't got multiple in this house yet. So, and that's right. I should have remembered this. Don't forget best ball tournament on DraftKings. They got the early bird best ball out. $10 to enter. $250K up top. $1 million prize pool for a pre-draft best ball tournament. So if you're a best ball sicko like me, check that tournament out on DraftKings.
Absolutely. DraftKings is really stepping it up on everything there. I played some of those MLB best ball ones.
Dude, those were long drafts, weren't they?
I was like falling asleep and shit. I'm like, why did I do this to myself? You ever enter one way too late at night and you're like, man, keeping your eyes open. You're like,
yeah.
Well, I just chalk this one up as a loss. It's almost like a lottery.
You turn like the sound up and you try and put the phone like right next to your face. So if you fall asleep a little bit, it just wakes you up with the ding. Yeah, we're doing NASCAR. Those guys are crushing NASCAR.
NASCAR over the last few weeks, you've seen Run Pure Sports all over the leaderboard, and that's just the facts, man. Big T, the man out there in those streets.
Big T, Stats, Matty Ice, those guys are crushing NASCAR right now. So yeah, and the NASCAR hub that Stats created, people are really loving. So if you're into NASCAR, check out the NASCAR hub. It's a great tool. I've been even playing a little bit of NASCAR, just get a little sweat in on Sundays. So yeah,
everyone hating on the F1 scoring changes, by the way, but we've been lucky in MMA.
I have not yet played F1. I've not yet.
Tie Central from when it used to be. I don't know what happened now, but if you remember through the years of this MMA, we've had one scoring change. And the biggest thing was when you were taking grapplers, do you remember Timmy Elliott? He would have the advancements.
I love Timmy Elliott.
Tim Elliott on the mat would do the advances, and he would do like 10 advances in like 4 seconds. And you'd be like, print. But people would just like look at him as whatever. But advancing matters. Scoring matters. Shocker. We're playing a game where scoring matters. And here's a pivot again. Your boy is just on fire. We're scoring grappling. What do we have? Striker versus grappler. We have Mansoor Abdul Malik, a -135 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Missouri Bulgari, +114. Have you ever seen a more divisive fight on Twitter? Like, people want to fight about this. Oh, Bulgari's gonna murk him.
There's always one fight, Mike. Every week there's always one fight. And you get these closer fights, closely lined fights, and I think two good fighters, right? Two good fighters, and everyone's like, oh, this guy, or everyone feels so strongly about like the fight that is very closely lined. It is funny.
Yeah, and it's probably due to the fact that Abdul Malik went to the decision basically with Brundage, and you got Bulgari, who was overproducing, well, quote unquote, as an underdog, he was winning against like Okoyev, big underdog there, +250, wins that fight. And he's just so fucking tall for the division and lanky, and he uses it. He's got good kicks and everything, man. He's very, very, very good. I just think that Abdul Malik coming into the UFC was like, this is the guy. I mean, they are still slow building him. Look at his path. Dusko, on the contenders, you've got Wesley Schultz, enhancement talent. Dusko, Nick Klein, Brundage, Tricoli, Cupcake. Those are all cupcake matchups to get him.
They know what they're doing. Now, this isn't no cupcake matchup.
No, and it's like they just threw him to the wolves, and it's not a top 15. It's like winner of this is going to be certified top prospect. Minus 135 price tag on a guy that has quote unquote the grappling, likes to power strike. Again, it's a tough matchup. You look at the inside the distance lines for these guys. Plus 140 on DraftKings Sportsbook, Abdul Malik. Bulgari, best price tag out there at DraftKings, plus 275. I saw that, and that kind of was glaring on DraftKings. It's one of the bigger lines, but I think it's the same situation as Bakoyev, isn't it? Like, maybe less grappling, but like it would be later. I think a Bulgari 2 or 3 would be a great price tag by knockout because Abdul Malik does slow down. But get those legs.
But he slows down, but he's tough. He's definitely tough.
Get to those legs. Simple.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Okay. Nobody was on Bulgari last time out against Bakoyev. Everyone liked Bakoyev. Everyone said Bakoyev was going to roll. I was on Usiri. I told you guys he was going to be tough to take down because he's so fucking tall and long. And if he stays on the feet, he had the striking edge, and that was clear. And he showed that off later in the fight. So now everyone's like, oh, okay, Abdul Malik, he's only been fighting like kind of shitty fighters. Now he gets like a definite step up in competition from who he's been fighting. He just went to a decision with Brundage, why does Cody Brundage always fight like in weird? He just always has like weird fights. It's just very odd with Cody Brundage. So I don't even know how much I want to take away from that, but it is just funny like how things work. Now I feel like a lot of people are on Bulgari, and I'm like, this is to me a very close fight. Money's starting, I think, come in on Mansour a little bit. I see the line on DraftKings Sportsbook minus 142. Bulgari is plus 120. That kind of checks out. I think this should be like a legit minus 110 fight. Mansour might have the wrestling advantage. We'll see if he can get this thing to the ground. Bakoyev struggled with getting it to the ground, and on the feet, I think it's just extremely close. I don't know if it's definitely gonna be tough for Mansour to get on the inside of Bulgari with how long and tall he is, but he does have power, and he will just kind of stalk you. I don't know if like that's gonna work though, because Bulgari is just gonna like pump shit out, and I feel like he's gonna have some success. I think like an over on significant strikes for Bulgari. What's the line at right now?
On pick 6?
Yeah, pick 6.
Significant strikes, Bulgari 48.5. Abdul Malik 29.5. Little surprising. I feel like.
I feel like both these guys go over. I think this fight lengthens. I think this fight could go to the cards.
I wish I could share my screen again. I immediately, before you even said that, had open decision prop market on the fight odds. I had it open because I'm like plus 350 for each of these guys by decision. They're saying flip a coin if it gets to the scorecards.
Yeah. Do you think it goes to the scorecards? Because I kind of have a feeling that both these guys are going to be tough to just put out.
I agree that it could go and should go to the scorecards. Bulgari is a tough guy to get out, man. I don't think he's been finished. He hasn't been finished, if I'm not mistaken. In kickboxing, he absolutely has, but this is not kickboxing. This is one of those situations where I think Mansour might be smart enough to just lay and pray for whatever he needs to do if it goes that route. And if it plays out at distance, like you said, he can just kind of bite down on the mouthpiece and mitigate a little bit of the damage. He might be able to hang in there for the 3 rounds, Abdul Malik. I think even both guys could have some success, don't you? Like legit split decision type of bullshit.
Yeah, no, I think this is a close fight. And at the end, you know how we have people on both sides of this fight and they're very strongly. At the end, each side is going to be like, my fighter definitely won. And then we're going to hear the split. And then one side's going to be pissed because they're going to scream robbery. And it's probably going to be that close. So yeah, I'm on the Bulgari side just because he is a dog. And I think this fight should be legit, like just minus 110 across the board here. But Abdul Malik does have the takedown upside for DFS. So right now
That might not be a good game plan. You know, that might slow him down and get hurt.
It might
later.
make him tired later in the fight, honestly.
Which means maybe a decision. I see both these guys approximately 20 to 25% owned. And I talked about it earlier. I personally think Abdul Malik is going to be significantly higher. I think people are going to be surprised. And I think we try to see when these situations happen. And it's going to be due to the inside the distance. Plus 130 at, what are we at? 8,200. When have you ever dealt that? Like, I know it seems a little wild to break it down that way, but like that's a great price tag. And you look at leverage.
Look at that fantasy points difference right there. 81.5 for you for Bulgari to 62.5.
Okay, just click it. Don't even ask me. Just click it.
Click what?
Abdul over.
Oh, over? You like Abdul? You're on. It is a low number.
Minus 135 is what? What's the percentage there? Like 58% or something like that.
My issue is I'm on Bulgari. So that's my issue.
Well, I've done it for you before in the past, but I'm just
all right, fine. You're right. It is a close fight.
Statistically, you're taking a guy that's like 58%.
I think the significant strikes is a good bet too. I think both these guys can go over on significant strikes.
Oh, well, how about I'll just take the Abdul over significant strikes instead of the fantasy points.
You like Abdul over?
Yes. Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
29.5. I'm cool with that because I think the fight extends. And if the fight extends, then yeah, we're probably going to get over, like we said, both these fighters. So
he's a little bit slower in the striking, but I think he's going to be forced into at least try to get in there.
Definitely. And I think it's not going to be like, because he like will stalk, but I think he's going to have to throw a little bit more to get where he wants, like on the inside. Like he's going to have to put out a little bit more.
Damn it. I wish we had our big number because like we're both somewhat split on it, but I feel like just go to the distance is our get out a path, right? Plus 140 DraftKings Sportsbook. I wish we could ladder it, take the over 2.5, take the but obviously it's going to have like
so did you bet Mansour or are you just kind of
no bet? It's too literally, I think it's closer to flip a coin, so I'd have to take Bulgari, right? I've got plus money. Forced to make a pick. It's Abdul Malik by a hair, by a decision. Give me a split decision.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a split decision. I'm on the other side. I got Bulgari. What's going on, Mike?
They're not going to
another week like last week would be great. I agree. Another week like last week, I'd be cool with.
Let's see. Fight props. Decision. Fight to be. Okay. We're cooking.
Here's a question here. Usiri greater than 25% owned ? I got him at 25%, and I got Mansour at like around 28. And
it's close.
I think he could be pushing 30. Personally, the line is definitely moving in his favor. So yeah, I think Mansour is going to be higher owned than Yuri. So, or Usiri. So whether he's 20 and Mansour's 30, I think it's going to be like 25 to 30% for both these guys.
Algorithms are going to be jamming in a guy like Abdul Malik, which makes Bulgari an immense amount of leverage, by the way. But that's not necessarily the point. When this fight,
here's a question.
Yeah,
John Cena says Malik went over on those significant strikes. Never. Yeah, you want to know why? Because he's facing fucking cans. Go watch the fights. Like if you go watch the fights, the man just literally stalks. He just stalks people. But against Cody Brundage, who fucking just stares at you, and Nick Klein, who just wants to grab your limb and not throw a punch, except somehow he dropped them. I don't even know how that happens. Like, you can do that against Bulgari's just going to be throwing shit out there. I don't
You
think
don't need combos, buddy. You just need power strikes against those guys.
I get what you're saying. He's not high volume, but against these type of guys, I think you can be. I think in this fight, like Bulgari might force him to be a little more volume, and I think it extends. So I get it. The Brundage fight didn't, but Cody, you need two people to make an actual real fight, and Cody didn't help that.
Thank you. I saved me from going on a diatribe there about Malik being drawn into more of a war than, again,
I hope it's a war. I think this could be a badass fight.
Win by split decision before I forget, plus 600. I thought it was going to be like +3 or +4, which would have been ugly, but interesting number, at least to you and I consider. In another spot here where we have a newcomer, the real Contender Series newcomer, Lorraine Douglas versus Julian Juicy J Arosa. Douglas -355 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Come back on Arosa +280. I can't get Juicy J correct. He turns back prospects he shouldn't. Then he gets iced by, like, Caceres, Padilla. It's like, what are we doing? Is he chinny? Yes. Is he a vet test? Yes. What should Douglas do? Go in there and knock his DM block off. Will he do it? This fight gets extended. There's leverage with Arosa, is there not?
Yeah. So here's the take right here. And I agree with Thainara 100%. Arosa always wins when he's not supposed to. That happens. And honestly, there are fighters like that in the UFC. They're not the most talented guys, but they just find a way at the end. If Douglas is smart, he is just going to keep this thing standing, not chase things, and eventually I think a knockout or a knockdown just comes to him. This guy throws everything, I feel like, as hard as possible. Watch him throw a leg kick. It's insane. Like, he throws it at 100% power, and it's the same thing with everything else he throws. So he can sometimes wait a little bit, but when he starts throwing, he throws that fucking heavy shit that puts people to sleep. That Teague fight for the Contender Series, not like Teague's amazing, but dude, you won't see many people get put to sleep like that. Like, he had this dude completely out, falling sideways right on his face. I mean, that was a badass knockout. This dude's good. Arosa's, like you said, though, a good vet test as well. I'm on the Douglas side, though. I think, he's going to win this thing. I think he's going to win this thing by KO. I just think there's too much power on his side. And Arosa's chin is probably going to get put down and out. But if he can, withstand some shots and hang in the fight, is he live later in the fight? He definitely is. So I get why some people might pick Arosa, because he does seem to always at least be a little live in these fights, right, Mike?
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you're breaking it down, that Mike W there is correct. KO 1 +165. Great number for a guy who has the direct path of going in there and doing it. And that's rare that you're getting plus money. +165 sounds even better. Julian Rose, second and third round is like 11-1 and like 18-1 or some crazy numbers like that. I just wonder if it would be like submission, or I don't know. Is Douglas durable enough? Like, if it gets stretched out, like you said, if everything's power, can he just like gas bag late because of the power? That's the only way that I think he takes over the fight, being Juicy J, right?
Yeah, probably. And again, like we said, like Kevin says here, Juicy always wins when he's a huge dog. Yeah, I mean, he's good. He's good. I think in the end the power is gonna win out for Douglas. So I'm higher on Douglas here as a 9K guy. Is Juicy J someone you're gonna flag plant as a dog?
Flag plant as a dog, unfortunately not. I told you a little bit of my secret sauce. I feel like the next fight is going to give even more of the secret sauce. The Bruno Lopes is one of the guys I'd rather just plug my nose and go towards instead of Juicy J. At this stage, I feel like Bruno can at least take one or two of the bigger shots. I feel like Juicy, man, you see him take one big sometimes, and it's like, man, just don't Don't get knocked out 2 or 3 times by the time you hit the mat. You know what I mean? You know, when you see those combos and they're getting hit 2 or 3 times, waking back up, you're like, ooh.
One thing I'm worried about is him getting dropped and his head hitting the canvas and then popping back up.
No. He doesn't do. Typically, it's one hitter quitter. So at least you don't have to worry about 20 points when he gets knocked out.
What do we have knockdowns or knockouts on this thing? What's Douglas
I'm staring at Douglas knockout 0.8.
So, 0.8. Come on, DK.
Well, what if I told you it's value? You wouldn't like that, would you? Minus 185 on DraftKings Sports.
I believe it's value. I just wish it was I wish we got the full point for. Do you want to click it?
Well, minus 185 is like very, very close to like 62%, if I'm not mistaken. So you're talking about 8. So that's sacrificing. It's like 52%, right?
I'm with Adam. He's gonna do us right. Let's do it. Let's click it.
We rarely do it, but we all know Juicy J. Poor guy. I think it's a home game for Juicy J.
That's not good. He's gonna get dropped in front of his home crowd. That's never a good thing. Who do we like in the Yanez fight? If you got a second, yeah, we did break that down earlier. I think we both liked it for DFS.
Yep.
I was higher on Ricky Simone for DFS just because I think he's got takedown upside, and pretty much I think the betting side is Yanez at plus money. So if you're betting it, I think Yanez. I think for DFS, though, Yanez is going to be a very popular dog. And I think pivoting to a Ricky Simone makes a lot of sense in DFS with the takedown upside. And we like the over on 2.5 takedowns for Ricky.
You know, you don't like this play. You never do. Plus 3.5. Plus 3.5.
I know. I just never bet those.
I know you don't.
Never bet them. Because the judges will just screw you. Like, nothing tilts me more than when I'm like, oh, all I need is a round. And then I watch a fight and I'm like, did I win that round? Did I not win that round? And then just don't give it to you.
The only way you play those is when you have the minus 1,000 that's expected to win inside the distance, and it gives you like 50 cents to $1 extra of value. So you can't just justify parlaying a minus 1,000. You know what I mean? Like, it just gives you a little bit more on the bone.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing it. You can do those. Yeah, have fun with the plus 3.5. Get screwed by the judges.
Thanks. I love that. Are we going to get screwed by the judges in this next fight?
Nope. It's not going to the judges.
Mike Chiesa retirement versus Nico Price retirement. Don't know if we've had this dynamic, dude. Double retirement fight. Home game for Chiesa, who was originally scheduled minus 900 against Carlston Harris in that original matchup. Tell me they weren't saying, here you go. Here's Carlston Harris. Or you just get to the clinch, drop him to the mat, so he gives up his back, done. Against now, the guy who got knocked out just weeks ago, Nico Price, plus 600. So minus 900, biggest favorite, I guess, now on the slate for Mike Chiesa. I don't rate Chiesa's takedowns super high. I want a piece of Nico Price. I want him, but like, what are you gonna do, buddy? Are you gonna get hit once and start doing a stinky leg? What?
I don't want to play Nico Price, but I would rather Nico Price over like Bruno Brazil or, some of those other low 6K plays. I mean, there's not.
I like Nico Price by knockout at plus 1,200, just like a wild play. Just saying, like.
So, like, out of all of these, Bruno Lopes, Nico Price, and Brazil, who would you pick?
If just you can only pick X one? Off Brazil. Stop saying her name. Price and Lopes. Those are the two that I'm telling you.
So who would you pick? Price or Lopes? If you can only pick one.
Personally, Lopes, but that's a personal play. That's a style of fight. I think the math says play Price, right? Like,
yeah, I think if I were to pick one, it would be Price.
Correct, and I think that's my mind trying to zig when people are zagging. So just don't always take my like. That's me getting too crafty. Okay.
No, I don't think that's you being crafty. I think there's people that would take Lopes, honestly. People that probably aren't as high on Sterling. I mean, shit, I'm not as high on Sterling, but I'm also just Chiesa at this price tag just makes me sick. Like 9,500 for Chiesa.
I hate it. Retirement. They're both retiring. I don't care that Nico was knocked out a while ago.
What if they just both throw down?
fight by knock.
What if they just both like try and knock each other? They just like get in the middle of the octagon and start swinging.
I'm looking up fight by knockout
They're
right
both
now.
retiring, right? It's like a legit like double retirement fight, right?
100%. And got
Yeah.
to pay for those kids. So fight lines.
It's so bad. Chiesa's striking is terrible.
Yeah.
Also,
Exact
Nico is extremely sloppy and losing to fighters like Varentennikov.
Striking's bad. But what about ground and pound? That some takedown into some GNP, you get bailed out that way. Fight to end by knockout plus 450. Oh, I like that call, GSU. I like that a lot. With it being minus 160 by submission,
I think, yeah, and I think you just take the fight to end by knockout.
Yeah, dude, 450.
Yeah, just take the 450. I know we want to be greedy with the 700s or just take the 450 and you got both sides, and then you can just root on someone getting knocked out.
Violence.
That's what I do. John Cena says Chiesa by sub in round 2. Mike likes, I think, the Nico Price by KO. Yeah, I mean, well, so what do we think? If Chiesa gets like a round 2 sub, he's not getting that. He's not hitting that price tag at 9,500, right?
No. I think there would be some stalling out, whether it be clinch against the cage. How many times do you see Nico against the cage? Of course, until he gets hit and he's silly. But
where was the 450? Was that on DK?
Yep. Plus 450 fight to end in knockout is on DraftKings Sportsbook. There happens to be a boost. Don't know if you want to get too greedy on it, but I believe there is a 30% exact method. That would really help a play like that out.
I don't know. I don't know if we want to use it on that though. That's
no, I know. I'm saying if you want to get greedy, you want to get real greedy. But Price just knocked out.
I say that, and I did use my last boost on Sean Strickland by inside the distance. So you can definitely get greedy with those boosts if you want.
Yeah, I'm sure that's really one of the better price tags out there. DraftKings plus 450 by knockout covers both of those, and they're both again retirement fight. Why not go out there and sling and bang? I like it. It's terrifying that we both somewhat like Price just for the price tag.
I know. I didn't think I was gonna like Nico Price as much as we were talking about on the show, and then I started. I got to change some of my stuff. I got to get a little Nico Price because then I started looking at Chiesa and I'm like, I don't like Chiesa either.
Well, you like, again, you can kind of make the rule to have Price or Lopes when those lineups are being made. I'm not saying jam. I'm saying when they get made, make sure you're getting exposure to both of those guys, because then it's a better floor than just praying Nico Price nails them.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. I don't think it's as clean cut as a takedown leads to a submission for Chiesa. That would be the ultimate wink, wink, nudge, nudge, right? Price is happy to get another paycheck. Chiesa goes out on top and home, right? I don't think that's necessarily the thing that happens. But we move from that exciting fight, to another one, Macy Barber versus Alexa Grasso. Barber coming in at minus 192, DraftKings Sportsbook. Alexa Grasso plus 160. No DFS, right? We don't want DFS on this one, I guess. Kickboxing potential. Alexa Grasso has not won a round in a long time. Cody Safdie said it there. He tweeted it out as rage bait. He's one of the better MMA handicappers out there, but he just did it as trolling people because he's like, it's like won 3 rounds of her last 16. It's like, yeah, she doesn't win rounds. But Macy Barber, is she the real deal? She was the girl who pulled out of a fight just 2 fights ago. And arguably, what do you think about that last fight?
I'm still mad about that. I'm still mad about her not fighting Erin Blanchfield and pulling out at the end. Whatever.
Last fight, she didn't look good against Kareem. I'm going to say that. There's some red flags.
And she stinks too. Silva is not good. So I'll just say this. I don't like Macy Barber. I'm not a huge fan. I'm on the Grasso side at plus money. I don't know if she's a great DFS play, but she is 7,400. I think you can take some stabs. If you go back and I mean, first of all, she's losing to Shevchenko. Okay, she's fighting Shevchenko. Then she's losing to Natalia Silva, who is probably, from a stylistic standpoint, one of the hardest matchups for DFS purposes, because she's insanely hard to hit and she's constantly circling and moving, which made it extremely hard for Grasso. She couldn't even like get a hold of her half the time. She was trying to cut her off, like nothing was working, and she just got frustrated. Obviously, she couldn't like actually throw. She's just pumping out like the double jab, but that was about it. There was like not much else she can do. And every time she tried to brawl with her, she got countered to shit and had like huge bumps on her face after. So, you know, it was just a bad matchup. This is definitely going to be a more friendly matchup, I think, with Macy. I think it's going to be easier for her to actually like get some strikes off, Mike, and put a little more volume out. It's probably going to be a fight that goes to the cards. So I don't know if it's going to be a good DFS fight. It's definitely dog or pass for me. I'm not playing Macy, but like, what do you think of like Alexa Grasso or Macy Barber over on significant strikes?
I like it. And this is the rematch. Again, nobody wanted. First fight, Barber, 3 takedowns, slightly outstruck her. Grasso has shored up things. She's definitely fighting the top, whereas Macy's working her way to the top. I like Grasso as well as a bet. I like her on the spread. I like her almost on anything.
Just bet Grasso plus 200 by decisions. Your bet, Mike, just bet plus 160. Just take the plus 160 money line.
Well, yeah, it covers some freak. I mean, how many times have we seen Barber hurt? We saw Barber hurt last fight, and she just panic wrestled to stay in it. Like, she was concussed. Did you remember that?
Yeah, just you never know what can happen. I agree with you. It's going to probably go to decision, but when it's plus 200 and the money line sitting plus 160, I'm just taking the plus 160. Now, if there was a wider gap, that's different, obviously, but that's not wider for me.
Alexa Grasso absolutely should be the more dominant on the feet with output, with keeping Barber off. That's part of your best takedown defense as well. Just continue jabs, kick. Well, probably not kicks, right? Probably some leg kicks. I think Barber's fragile. I've actually called a few of the Barber wins where she's done well, which was the one Rebus. Rebus, I think she scored tremendously well from elbows. But like, this is a girl where she pushes advantages sometimes where it's like, you're not pushing them in the correct spot. I don't think grappling Grasso is going to be the necessary smart thing to do. Now, you talk about DFS wise, you're going to play Alexa Grasso. You really want things to go right on this slate, right? Like, you have to have her not just win this fight, but I feel like you're going to have other pieces fall into place. Like, you and I love this mid-range, clearly, right?
Yep.
When a Yanez wins, you're screwed. When a Nelson wins, you're screwed. So
you're going to need a lot of favorites to win. And then you get to this fight and you're like, all right, not many dogs have won. All I need is Grasso to get me like 80 or something like that. And just hope that, you know, who knows? I hope that she throws a ton of strikes out there. And I actually do think in this fight too, like if you go back and watch the Natalia Silva fight, she couldn't even get off combinations. That's how much Natalia was just stick and move. Like, and she was terrified of getting countered.
She's an anomaly.
So
that
yeah,
girl,
but when you're terrified of that, you're not going to stay in the pocket, right, Mike? So you're going to throw 1, maybe 2, but you're not going to stay in the pocket because you're terrified of that big punch coming back at you. And Natalia, literally one of the first things in the first round, do you remember she threw that side kick and it hit her like right in the face? And it came out of nowhere. And at that point, Grasso was probably like, oh, fuck. That was crazy because, like, you just don't see Natalia's kicks. They happen so fast.
Well, you want me
to, like, telegraph them.
You want me to back your point? I probably would say Natalia Silva would knock out Macy Barber at this stage. Obviously, it's not
the only thing I will say about that is, like, Natalia would need someone who just said fuck it and kept going forward. Whereas like Grasso only did that a couple of times towards the end of rounds. But other than that, she was terrified of the counter.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her. I'm just saying it is what it is. It's Natalia Silva. She's really good, but yeah, it is. Macy might get finished though, just Macy style.
I remember the wild scorecards though. Remember, like, it was 30-27s across the board for Silva. And I think people were a little surprised by that when those were
I
read.
mean, it wasn't like the most exciting fight ever, but she definitely won, and she won pretty clearly. I rewatched that fight earlier this morning, and because I like what you said, I kind of thought in my head like it should have been 29-28. Grasso was a little better than maybe people thought, and then I went back and watched, and I was like, nope, Grasso couldn't even touch her. Like it was that bad. So. Yeah, but better matchup here. So that's why I'm taking the dog. But do you want to take significant strikes? What do you think?
I think you and I both like potential 3 rounds kickboxing cleaner for Grasso. Let's look at their first fight. First fight, well, it played out on the mat. 40 strikes Barber, 38 Grasso. Yeah, give me the over on Grasso's, right?
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Very clean number.
Yeah, I don't think Grasso's probably going to get 80, but
well, yeah. But
like you want 80 probably.
Great point. If she were to get 80 pre-flop, you're like, okay, I kind of am forced to locking her.
Yeah,
it's terrifying because you still need other things to happen, but at least you're assured it. Yeah.
Mike, what do you think for a minimum salary here? Are you like higher? Do you stay higher up, or will you kind of leave more on the table? Or does it
with
depend on
so
the
many
card?
chalk dogs, I think leaving to the 495, right, might be a smarter idea. Leaving more money on the table than not because they're so chalky. I mean, you got like think of the builds. I know we're gonna have to get to the main event, but outside of the main event, Yanez chalk. Would you say Nelson would be chalky underdog?
I think that fight will be somewhat chalky.
So when you're getting those builds, when they're optimal, it's just going to put you in a point where you're going to have to leave money on the table. It's not like a 4-9, right?
No,
It's not at all. I think the equity is still.
I think I'm more with you, like 4-9-4, something like that.
Yeah, 494, 495, right there, and just trying to get unique there. Again, I kind of like the idea of mixing in a Lopes or a Price, and then really
the only
getting.
thing I will say for this slate is I could see something weird winning just because we don't really love a lot of these 9K guys.
No.
And what happens when the 9K busts? That's when I think you might have the better chance of like a weird leave the salary more.
You know what happens?
Winning.
You know what happens? It's the Simone Fernandez that hit 100 points.
Yeah.
It's those builds where the ownership comes into play for the favorites that are like 10% owned that actually score.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and we're both somewhat sniffing it out there. What are we at for pick 6? Did we get up all 6?
Yeah, but let's finish up and then we'll see if I don't know if there's anything we want in this fight, but we'll find out.
The fight that everyone's here for. Israel Adesanya -142 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Come back on Joe Body Bags. Pyfer is a +120 on DraftKings. The corpse of Israel Adesanya? No, I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. You get murked by Imavov. What would Imavov do to Joe Pyfer? Duplessis cooked, gets the takedowns, gets him out of there. Strickland outpoints him. Like, why are we selling on Izzy? I don't get it. I don't like it. But I also know his style can be kind of tricky because it's like Joe Pyfer. What was the fight he had the 5 rounds to work with? Hermanson. And it's like, is it to play out more like that where the vet test comes into play? Izzy dances around him, stays alive for the first 2 rounds, and then wins a point fight? I think that's likely. I think Izzy wins a kickboxing 5-round fight. But you know I love my inside the distance lines. Joe Pyfer is +165. Breast could be breast. I mean, Izzy has some titties. They're firm, but Pyfer plus 165 inside the distance is the best price tag out there. I would be playing that if I'm going that route. I think Izzy wins the decision, so I'm not. Did you think I was going to be on Joey?
I wasn't sure which side you were going to be on,
Nah,
and I do think this is an interesting fight because Izzy has been one of those fighters where you watch some of his fights recently, and you're like, he's kind of winning till he isn't, right? Like, he looks solid, but then he gets caught, right, Mike? And he gets caught, and that's kind of it. And it wouldn't shock me. I'll be honest too. Like, I'm not the biggest Joe Pyfer fan, so like,
it's hard to be
going back and watching his fights and stuff. I do think he's extremely live in this fight. I think he probably wins this fight. I'm picking him to win. I'm going to bet him. And it's because when I watch Izzy fight, like, and then I watch Joe fight, Joe is looking for the big shot. He's looking to finish you in most of these fights. He's just kind of waiting. So if Izzy, I do think Izzy's going to like outpoint him until he's just not, and until he's losing is probably how this fight is going to go. If it does go to the cards, it's going to lean Izzy, obviously, but I don't think it makes it there. Joe's got a ton of power. All he needs is that one big shot, and he does have wrestling and grappling in his back pocket too if he needs it. I'm going Joe, and I can't believe I'm saying that because I'm just not the biggest Joe Pyfer guy, but I'm taking him over Izzy, and I'm going to be jamming him in DFS. So
how does the score for both of these guys in the decision? You obviously said more paths for grappling, yes.
It's probably not scoring that well.
I think it's also one of those rare situations that you get the main event favorite at a significant discount, more than 2.5. I have Izzy coming in at 15 to say 20. So let's just call it 17.5%, right? Pyfer being 50% owned. Can you justify 50% of the field playing Pyfer? I with the plays around him, the Yanez, the Nelson, O'Neal. O'Neal's a money line value. I think O'Neal's going to be higher owned. She's 40%. I forgot about that. O'Neal's 40%. This is such a tricky slate. So, like, which one of the fighters do you want to actually kill some of the ownership? Is it Izzy? Is it Gabby? Who's the other guy? Simon. I think you and I both landed on Simon, right? So when you're building those lineups in the mid-range, it ends up playing Izzy at 17%. Kind of looks like a really good play, dude. I'm not talking you into it. I'm strictly talking fantasy, as in.
Oh, I know what you're talking.
How does he ever in 5 rounds bust against Joe Pyfer? Is it strictly just shadow boxing?
Yeah, I think it's Joe Pyfer trying to look for the big shot. Izzy's just trying to stay away from the big shot, so he's not like throwing a ton out there. Because like I think he's going to be a little afraid to enter the, to stay in the pocket and to throw a ton with someone like Joe Pyfer, who just does have massive power. You can say Izzy's the better striker. Yeah, he is the better striker. And honestly, he's been the better striker until he's not in a lot of his other matchups when he loses. So yes, that's fine. But I think he's just going to try and stay away from the big power of Joe Pyfer, and it's not going to score well if it gets to the cards because of that. You're not going to see a lot of volume. I don't think you're going to see like a ton of grappling, obviously, from Izzy. And that's how you score well in DFS. You got to either throw a shitload of volume out there, and I know it's five rounds, but like, a decision with low volume and no takedowns and grappling is not going to score as well as we'd like. So,
hey, I have Joe Pyfer ticket by the end of the year. I'm throwing it out there, right? He beats Izzy. He's right there. So I'm not saying that Joe can't win the fight either because I'm financially invested in him winning.
And to be clear, this is 100% true. Mike B saying big step up for Joe P. Izzy's far from washed. He has only fought, the best. Sometimes you lose, you win. Yeah, I agree 100%. I think it's a big step up. I don't think Izzy's washed. I just think he has defensive lapses, and when someone has massive power like Joe does, like he just needs to clip him once and hurt him, and I think he can finish him if he does that. So yeah, I get it. I get picking Izzy. I totally get it. But
I struggle to agree with the people that are saying Izzy doesn't score well in decisions. Price is everything. When have you ever seen Izzy down here and then what, 82, 83, 85? 85 is kind of the cutoff. It gets a little greasy right there, right? Because like then you really need that 85 points, which are going to matter. But it's still significantly lower than what he normally is. Do you agree with the 50% there for Pyfer? Like blindly.
do I think he comes in at 50%?
Yeah. Do you?
Feels a little high. That's just me. It feels a little high. Joe Pyfer at 50%. I think it's more like 40, but you know, it is what it is. I get people on him. I mean, look at the fantasy points different. He clearly has more upside, I think, in a finish, but
Darren hitting us with the hard hitting question. Last spot, Simon or Fortune? I think you and I are both gonna say Simon.
Yeah.
It's Fortune has more potential. I think once it's out of that first round, the question mark goes pace. At least with Simon, you know he can keep it up for 3 rounds, and the path is going to be grappling for the 3. Yeah, exactly. So when I have my ownership projections, it's going to be projecting for that big GPP, right? But then when you get towards those single entries or the higher dollar, people are more off to play a cash-based lineup, right?
Yeah. And that's like what Justin was saying here is like, it's just so easy to play him in cash and stuff like that. Yeah, it is. You get 5 rounds, closely lined. I think has more of the like inside the distance upside, right, Mike? Like it all checks out.
Oh, way better. I mean, the inside the distance is like night and day. Plus 165 to plus 250 for Izzy. That number's actually come down for Izzy, but I think those are people just kind of dissecting the pie, right? Like 3rd, 4th, 5th. Okay, what happens, right? Izzy is the type of guy who could finish, where it's like Hermanson might just control kickbox at distance. Especially Izzy can kickbox at distance.
Izzy's gonna get ownership.
I don't think it's as elevated as 25. I don't think it's half of them. I think it
comes in at like. Do you think Izzy could come in at like 40%?
What? No, Izzy?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think people want to play him.
People put stock in the 5-round fights.
Point in case, Pyfer being 50% projected.
I don't think he's gonna be 50%. Is my point.
Okay,
I think like the sharp pivot in tournaments. I think is going to be people playing Izzy. That's what I think.
That's a good take. That's a really good take.
I think they're going to take the 5 rounds. They're going to take what they think is, and in most people's mind too, they're going to take the better fighter, right? Fought the better competition, all that stuff. I get the inside this line, not great, but you still get an extra couple rounds. So that kind of makes up for it.
Plus 250 ain't that bad for an 85.
No, it's not. I'm saying compared to Joe, but I'm saying like you get the extra 2 rounds. I think this is like the tournament pivot, and we're all going to think, oh, he's going to come in at like 30%, and then he's going to end up being like 40. It's just, could be wrong though.
Fun slate, man. Absolutely tremendous slate from a fantasy standpoint. Talk me through our pick 6. I'm looking at the fantasy points in the main event.
And someone asked to rank the 9K fighters. I have them ranked as Douglas. Just looking at it here. So Douglas, Bahamondes, Sterling, Chiesa, Thainara, I guess would be the rankings. How would you rank them?
Firmly ranking them Douglas, Chiesa, Sterling, Bahamondes, Thainara. And I'm putting Chiesa high up because I think the variance is drilled. I know the ownership's going there too, but I also feel like a lot of these guys are going to be like 30%. Douglas is going to be 40 to 45. I don't know what you have him, but
I got Douglas at like 30. I got Douglas at like 35%.
But you know what's funny? You and I don't even think that the 9K guys necessarily matter as much as they did last week.
Well, we had way better 9K plays last week.
Exactly. So like,
shit, we had Iwu last week, so like way better.
Way better. Yes. What do you think about those guys around Pyfer then? So if they're going to be the O'Neal, Yanez, they're both like the 40% owned. Do you think people would be more apt to go O'Neal, Yanez, Izzy, like those types of builds? Like, I'm trying to figure out how you.
Yeah, I do, and that's why I think guys like fighters like Lance Gibson Jr., Kyle Nelson are good pivots off like the chalk that you were just kind of talking about here. And then like even if you want to get like the really ballsy play like a Fernandez. I don't know how much Fernandez I'm going to have, but she's going to be low owned. We both like Ricky. That's another low owned pivot in that range. I'm definitely going to hang out in that range a little bit because I like Ricky. Obviously, Terrence, everyone's going to like.
Mid-range with money on the table could be OP, like very, very OP.
Yeah, like if Douglas is the highest guy I go to in some lineups,
we're sniffing the same thing. And then, like you said, you want to get really, really crazy. You mix a Lopes or a Price. Whew, single-digit ownership on one of those guys winning. Very cool. But
yeah, Reggie's a funny dog name. It's like name your dog Mike or John. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but my wife, when we got a dog, just always wanted a dog named Reggie. I have no idea. So there you go. And Spencer, he's already shit twice today, so I hope not. He wants to go on his walk.
Oh yeah, WALKIES, walkies.
Yep.
What is our pick six? Walk us through it.
All right, so pick six here. Let's just read it real quick, then we'll throw a few bones on it. So we got Ricky Simone over on takedowns, over 2.5. Alexa Thainara under on 3.5 takedowns. Terrence McKinney over on 21.5 significant strikes. Mansur Abdul Malik over on 29.5 significant strikes. Loren Douglas over on 0.5 knockouts. And Alexa Grasso over on 42.5 significant strikes. We get a little 30% boost in there. Can I put 100 on those
boost? I still like our plus 450 man on that knockout by
okay.
Chiesa and Price.
All right, 50 bones, 30% here, 50 to win, 936.
JSU, the 30% boost makes up for that 0.8.
I know.
See how it all works out in the end?
God, this location check. All right, Mike, who's your favorite bet before we get out of here?
My favorite bet on the slate. Looking up and down the board. Doesn't it feel like I want to pick six? No. A couple darts. I feel like I want a dart throw on this slate is a best bet, but no, I guess I'm just going to have to go with I'm trying here. You hit me quick before I hit mine.
Oh, okay.
So I can pull something out.
My favorite bet here. Let me just pull up my sheet.
It's tough. I feel like it's a sprinkle slate, don't you?
Yeah, but I don't like to sprinkle. Like I like to go absolutely in and win, lose, or draw. Just try and hit for a bunch of money here. I like Joe. I'm betting Joe Pyfer definitely, and then I think the other. I'm betting Ricky Simone over on takedowns. We talked about that, and Bulgari money line.
Yeah, so I was gonna say Grasso just strictly at the plus 160.
I love that. I'm betting her too.
I like her. I really like the Douglas round one knockout at plus 165. That price tag is wild. It should be like minus 115. Like that is his direct path of scoring. So it's more of the perceived value than it is necessarily the value.
So I got one more. If you want a, it's probably a little bit more of a long shot here, but I think I bet it earlier. Let me just pull it up. I want to make sure I got the right. So I talked about the Lance Gibson Jr. plus 550 by KO.
I said that. Yeah.
Much better striker. This line on the feet, it's much closer, in my opinion, than it is on the ground. If it stays on the feet, we've seen Chase Hooper, not a very good striker. Lance Gibson plus 550, I don't think is crazy.
One of the best prices out there when I was on Fight Odds, it's DraftKings Sportsbook, gives you an extra 50 cents basically compared to everybody else. Last bet for me, Tofik takedowns, baby, plus 400 for 2. They don't even want to give me the 1. I might have to go to another place, but DraftKings is the best place to bet. So he's gonna get
subbed on his first takedown attempt.
That's fine. Kill me with that. Plus 400 for the first leg for 2. 3 is plus 650, plus 900 for 4. Holy shit, they give you 5 takedowns at plus 1200. Yeah, give me a little sprinkle on that. I know you hate it. That's
there
fine.
You go. All right, that's all the bets. DFS pick 6 here. If you want more, guys, check us out, runpuresports.com, for all things MMA, DraftKings, sports betting. We got you guys covered. MLB's here. PGA, NBA playoffs going to be starting soon. College basketball, March Madness. The boys are still cooking up winners and DFS and all that stuff. So get in now, runpuresports.com. That's going to do it, though, for me and Mike. We'll check you guys next Saturday. Until then, we're out of here. Peace.